So the outline is about to provide a signal momentarily. And so what I want to do is I'm going to wait until we have the signal 26.27 long. 26.27 long. So I'm going to place here a 26.27 long. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure that I have here the ATM strategy,
order filled,
which allows me to have a target and a stop automatically. So the ATM strategy on NinjaTrader does this for me automatically. The next thing is the stops, the targets, the trade management. The ATR is 2 1/4, 2 points, 2 1/4 points. So what I'm going to do is place this as a relevant target and relevant stop to the conditions that exist. I can't expect 6 points, 10 points, 5 points. I can only expect what you see here, which is 2 1/4, 2 points if you want to be conservative. And as the market reaches here, I want to be out of the trade. Obviously, I don't want to have a losing trade. If you are taking these trades with me, just remember, exit the trade, get out of it at a market order to ensure that you get filled. You don't have to use limit orders or market if touched orders. If it touches 26.2950, you need to get out of the trade as well. That would be a 2-point target. And the stop is also down here. You don't have to have such a large stop, but protecting yourself with a catastrophic stop is important. So a catastrophic stop is always placed, and then managing the trade with a time element, with a proof element, and with a catastrophic stop. A well-rounded protection, not just a hard stop. A lot of traders just use time or price. I use a combination of price, time, and proof. So that you are covered in case anything happens along those lines. Now, in addition, let me give you just a quick tip here. If the market slows down,
target filled,
this will also slow down. All right, so that target was filled, as you can see. This is a simulated account. This is not a live account, just so you know. So I didn't make any money or lose any money. I'm giving you the examples of the Atlas Line software as it's plotting live. So as the market comes down, or I should say, as the market slows down, this ATR will also slow down. So if you see the market getting slower and slower and slower while you're in a trade, that is a great tip to indicate I'm also going to adjust my target and my stop to a smaller target and stop because the market is slowing down. So trade management is not something that's really spoken about. And when you look at, here, let me just add the, somebody's asking here, was I filled? So let me just show you the actual orders here on the chart. So the entry based on the Atlas line, 26.27, but I entered 2 ticks away from it, so I got 26.2750 here on the dome, and the target being 2 points based off 2 1/4, 2 points. So it's really relevant here to what you're seeing. This is in fact the expectation. Can the market go up? Can you trail a stop? I'll show you how to do that today. Yes, that's no problem with trailing stops. But if the market slows down, this is, I think, very important. It's not really spoken about with a lot of traders. As the market slows down as the day progresses, it doesn't really keep the same volatility. It slows down as the day progresses, and it's normal. This is not something out of the ordinary. You can expect the market to get slower and slower, but if you're in a trade and you can no longer make 2 points or 2 1/4, and the ATR drops to 2 points or 7 ticks or 6 ticks or 5 ticks, I definitely suggest that you adjust your target as well, because you may not be able to make the initial target if the market's slowing down. Let me know if that makes sense. Both buy and sell, Joe, it provides you both buy and sell orders. It really does depend whether the price is trading above the Atlas line. So this here would be the Atlas line, this little blue dotted line. I can change that. I'll change it right now so you can see it a little bit better. This is all customizable as well. So a little bit larger. So what you're seeing here is the Atlas line. And the Atlas line, the idea behind it is to focus as a tool first, to focus on long trades above and short trades below. So it will only give you long trades and long signals based on price action, whether it be pullback, strength trades, whether it be the main signal, bounce trades. If it's trading above, you're going to see longs. If it's trading below, you're going to see short signals, Joe. So let me show you the trade scalper. Let me bring up another chart. You can definitely take a look at that. If you need to download NinjaTrader, if you need help with that, we can help you download NinjaTrader and get you started with practicing, help you get the data feed so you can see live data. We can assist you with that if you need to. Trade Scalper uses a 1-minute chart. Remember, rollover is this coming Thursday. Usually it's the second Thursday or Friday of the expiring month, but this month, because the amount of days, it happens to be this Thursday. So remember to roll over to March 2018 for the financials, US, emini, S&P, currencies, futures, currencies, NASDAQ, Dow, March 2018, 0318 S&P. So we're going to use a 1-minute chart. Joe's asking for the trade scalper, and I'm going to add the trade scalper here, and we'll just take a look at the signals live as they happen as well. I'm going to show you the demo version of the trade scalper, which gives you the signals. The main version here, this is the main version of the trade scalper for Ninja, is a lot more intuitive. It has filters and it has all these parameters, but I'm just going to add the demo version here, and we'll see what these signals look like. So far, as the trade scalper 2631 as a long signal, these markers that you're seeing here was that Atlas line trade. So it's the same as the Atlas line trade. And so this chart right here is just showing you the trade scalper signals. I'll leave that up. Nathan says here, for the Atlas line, is there a rule of thumb about, because Nathan has the Atlas line, when to enter a limit order versus a market order sometimes, or to avoid the slippage, sometimes you miss the trades, right? So really it's being prepared and ready. Not only do I recommend the ATR, Nathan, but I also recommend the bar timer. If you add here the bar timer to your chart, the bar timer will allow you to see when a candle closes and when a new candle is about to open. And as you know from the training, since you have the outline, these orders, these entries, buying, selling, will only happen when a candle closes. So it uses price action, the candle's closing price, as the entry. So in this example, it's really not a surprise whether the market will be giving you a long Atlas line signal. And I'll tell you what it is. It's 2 consecutive candles closing above or below or crossing. So right when this candle, being candle number 2, was about to close, I look at the bar timer. I say there's 10 seconds left. There's 5 seconds left. This is about to be a long signal. If you remember from the training, 2 consecutive candles closing above or below. This would have been a long signal. I just have to wait until the candle closes. Now, when the candle closes, or just before it closes, this will trigger a long entry at the closing price of bar number 2. So again, I try to make this without really having too many surprises where you're waiting for software and then you're rushing to the chart or rushing to your price ladder to place a trade. And so 2 consecutive candles, 1, 2, is telling you to go long at the closing price. It should always be the closing price where the market, I'm sorry, it's this one here, where the market is describing right there. 2 consecutive candles closing right there. 26.27 is the closing price of bar number 2, and that should be the long entry. Now, if you enter in a market order and it happens to be a tick away or 2 ticks away, sometimes if you're chasing it, it doesn't make sense. I don't recommend chasing the market. I do recommend trying to get a better price. I recommend having the bar timer so you know when a candle closes or opens. So as soon as this candle, whether it's red or whether it's green or doji, it's price action. It's 2 consecutive candles closing either above or below, which creates this signal. It's not a mystery. So you should be entering long just as this candle is closing. And if you get in like the example I just did here, 26.2750, 2 ticks away, the ATR is volatile enough that you're able to sustain it. It's the same for Elijah. So I'm using the ATR with a setting of 4, the same. I'm looking at the last 4 minutes. On a 1-minute chart, I'm using the last 4 candles, which is 20 minutes on a 5-minute chart. So the setting is still 4, whether it's the trade scalper or the Atlas line. Right. Usually it does, Nathan. Sometimes market orders are the only way to go. If the market's strong, I have to agree with you. Sometimes if the market just takes off on you and you don't get a chance, the market order is the only way to go. There's really nothing you can do about it. Sometimes it does, though. So if this was the closing price and it comes down a little bit to fill you and then turns around and comes back up, so that's not a problem with limit orders or market if touched orders. But in this example here, it just took off and went straight up. So there's really nothing you could do. It's just the market order that would have gotten you in. I have to agree with you on that. You got it, Nathan. You can use both at the same time, Joe, and let me show you how you could do that. So let me just remove this out of the way. I'm sorry, I should do this here so we can see both at the same time. So Joe's asking a question. Can you use both the Atlas line and the trade scalper at the same time? And the answer is yes, you can. The way that you would do that is if you add the Atlas line to the 1-minute chart, since the Atlas line is not based off moving averages or MACDs, it's based off the market itself. If I add the Atlas line to the 1-minute chart where I have the trade scalper method or trade scalper software, it'll give you the same exact Atlas line plot, which says above the Atlas line, stay long, below the Atlas line, stay short or go short. And so if I add the Atlas line here to the 1-minute chart, give it just a second here to update, and it is down here. So this is the Atlas line on a 1-minute chart. Really the focus would be go long, take long trades, stay long, and if you're using the trade scalper in addition, you're filtering each of the trades out, so you'd only really take long trades when it comes to the trade scalper signal because price is trading above the Atlas line. And this is the Atlas line here on the 5-minute chart. So you can see that this, as well as this, doesn't change. We're not optimizing, which is a very bad thing to do as a trader, looking at different values to curve fit the data. That's not something I ever recommend doing. If it's going to work on a 5-minute chart, it should also work on a 1-minute chart or a 15-minute chart. And then we use price action to further get us into a long or short trade. Joe, let me know if you're okay with that. Answer your question. Now, the S's and the P's that you're seeing, this is based on the Atlas line. And the S's and the P's are strength trades for the S's, pullback trades, P, and they are a combination of patterns as well as price filters. And the short of it is that if you're going to go long on a strength or pullback trade, every signal is compared to each other, higher and higher entries, and vice versa. If there's a short opportunity, every strength and pullback trade starts to compare each other to lower and lower prices. So again, the focus is on price action. It's not on any type of conventional indicator. And I know everyone looks at indicators. I really stay away from the conventional indicators that exist. I'm sure they have a purpose or a point, but for me, I prefer to just look at the candles and the price. And I agree with you, Dejan. It's been improved, Lewis, and so I always provide free updates, lifetime licenses for all the software that I offer. I don't charge a fee for any updates. So in the future, if there's a NinjaTrader 9 and if I have to update the outline for that, it's a free update mentorship. I have traders that have been trading with me for 10, 11 years now. And in the beginning, it was NinjaTrader 6.5 and TradeStation 2000, I believe it was, TI. And the updates I offer for free, even going that far back, there's no cost for it. I provide them for free to my clients. Good question, Nathan. Let's take a look. That was Friday, you said? Nathan, so you want to take a look at Friday? Yep. So we can take a look at Friday, and I will show you. Friday was the first. So let's take a look at the first. So this is yesterday here, and this is the fourth. So you can see the Atlas line as well as the at the open 2 software plotting here on the fourth. And this is the first. So the question that Nathan had was the ISM manufacturing was scheduled at 10 a.m. release. So at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard, Nathan, is right here. So this is actually the candle of the news release, because these candles are on closing prices. The timestamp is on closing price, not on opening price. So this candle opened at 10 o'clock and closed at 10:05. This is the candle that you're referring to as a news release. So when this candle plotted right here, you see the Atlas line down here telling you to go long 26.4450. And if you stayed out of this trade, stayed out completely out because of the ISM manufacturing, remember it has to be a red star, red flag, a high priority news event, then you would not take this long. As soon as you realize that this candle right here, Nathan, this candle right here is not a large reactionary candle to the news, whether it's unemployment or PPI. If you don't see a large reactionary candle, then as soon as that news is released, the market doesn't react to it, meaning the news doesn't really promote a better than expected or worse than expected reaction. You can go ahead and enter, even if it's at a better price. I wouldn't chase it, Nathan, but if it's at a better price, you could take it. So whether there's news or not, it continued to go up and made the target. But Nathan, if you stayed out of this because of the manufacturing, I would say to you, as soon as you realize that there's not a reaction, and if you're able to still get in at a better price, I would take it. So the idea is to stay out. Is there a reaction? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. If there's not, fantastic, you can go ahead and take it. And what constitutes a reaction is this candle significantly larger? Like you see this candle right here, this is a candle that's from high to low, significantly larger than this one, this one, this one, this one. So this is some type of reaction to something, news or not. That's what the candle needs to look like as a reactionary candle. When you come forward here into the future, as soon as this candle is about to close, you realize it's really not a big deal. The candle is pretty much the same size as all the others. You can go ahead and enter. Nathan, let me know if you're okay with that. Let me show you the calendar that I use in case you're wondering. Not only can you download the news indicator, which is actually right here, it's a free news indicator that I provide to everyone, whether you're a client or not. You can download it on DayTradeToWin.com under free software, and I have the news indicator right here. So you can go ahead and download this, and you'll be able to know and get notified when there's a news event. You can customize it to international or US based or high priority, low priority. It's pretty intuitive. And so it plots the indicator with a sound or an alert as well. And the news calendar that I like to use when I look at historically when traders email me, I get a lot of emails. So if you do have questions, just be patient. I get 50 to 100 emails a day. This one right here. I just heard another sound here, an alert. So it's not the Atlas line. Let's see if it's the, yep, it looks like the, over here for the trade scalper, I heard the alert here, right here, 26, 27, 75. But this is for the trade scalper, the signal 26, 27, 75 short. So how about I do this? Let me just add here a quick 26, 27, 75.
Order pending.
Actually,
Order canceled. Order pending. Order filled.
okay, so I did a market if touched MIT order to ensure a fill. 26, 27.75, 3-tick target, and the ATR is above 3 ticks. So 3-tick target, and I have my stop here, 6-tick stop. All right, let me see some other questions here. TradeStation, Joe. TradeStation, I have the Atlas line programmed for the TradeStation, but I do not have the Trade Scalper programmed for the TradeStation. If you would like to have NinjaTrader 8 even in a sim or demo mode with live data, you can definitely have it and add the Trade Scalper to NinjaTrader 8. But I don't have that coded for Trade Scalper yet, Joe. All right, Nathan, you're good. Let's take a look here. This is the calendar that I look at. Yeah, let's bring this up here. It's the Econo Day or the Bloomberg. And so I was just taking a look here. You see Friday, ISM manufacturing 10 o'clock. The red dot there indicates it should be a market mover. Okay, so it's this here, the Econo Day calendar. So I look at this, and please, Janet Yellen, that's also a strong market mover as well when the Fed chair speaks. Sure, Lewis. NASDAQ, no problem. I can definitely take a look at that on the Atlas line. After the major sell-off, Joe, after December 1st, I'll show you that. Elijah says, how long should it stay in the trade? I always think, Elijah, the earlier or the sooner the market makes the target or doesn't make the target is the indication to get in and to get out. So when you look at the trade scalper, the method itself, it's based off of a time element as a sell or as a buy. And if it doesn't happen, I would say typically within 10 minutes, that's a good indication as a scalping strategy to get out. Now, sometimes it's just 5 minutes, sometimes it's, let's say, 12 minutes, but you shouldn't hold on to this signal, this trade scalper signal, for an hour or half hour. It's just a 3-tick target and a 6-tick stop. It's so small that this is not really something that I want to hold on to. If it doesn't work immediately, Elijah, you have to get out of the trade. So typically most of the scalping signals on the trade scalper, on average, let's say, they're 10 minutes. Some much less, some a little bit more, but not much more than that.
Target filled.
Elijah. So for this trade scalper signal, this trade here, again, as a reminder, this is in simulation, so I'm not making or losing any money. I'm just providing you an example of the software and the signals so you can have a good representation of what you could expect. It made the target, but if this was an hour later, this is by far a different situation. You cannot hold on to this trade, such a small trade, for more than 10 minutes. I don't see an ATO2 yet. Let me just take a quick look here. Atlas line, nope, not yet. So we may still see an ATO2 signal. It may even be a short signal is what I'm looking at, because the method itself is explained, so I can manually do it in my mind. It may be a short signal on the ATO2 if the market continues lower and lower. And also, if you're anticipating that there's going to be an Atlas line trade to the short side, this is for those of you who have the Atlas line or are thinking about it. I want you to be prepared that as soon as the market gives you and provides 2 candles closing below the Atlas line, this is a signal to go short. So again, don't be surprised. Anticipate it. If the market bounces off here, this area where the Atlas line is trading, there's not going to be a short trade. There may be a long as a bounce signal, bounce to the long side, but there will not be a short signal. So price action is very important. 2 candles closing below will automatically plot the signal to go short. Or if the market now bounces off and goes up, it's still focusing on the 5-minute chart, long Atlas line trades. It can be used, Joe. The problem with trading pre-market or after hours is that the market is slow. If you've looked at any of the videos that I have, most of the videos I outline the ATR as the determining factor to help me trade whether the market's slow or whether the market is fast. On a 5-minute chart, anything above a point is healthy, it's tradable. Less than a point, which is really 4 ticks, and I would say this is the same across all markets, it's really too slow. So if you're ever looking at overnight trading, you can see it's slower. This here would not be something I would recommend to trade Atlas line or any type of method whatsoever. There's a lot of chop, a lot of flip-flop, dojis, gaps. This is not an environment I want to do. So pre-market or after hours is doable if you find a market that's at least 4 ticks above on the ATR 5-minute chart. But if it's not, I wouldn't try it. So when can you trade overnight or after hours or pre-market? Well, I can add here the Atlas line to the overnight starting at the Life Exchange open. So for me, that would be 3 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock locally in England. This is when the Life Exchange opens, and usually you have a pop in volatility and activity. So if you look here at the overnight, starting at the London open, the ATR is above a point here, it's above a point here, so it's tradable. But as soon as it starts to dip down, this is risky because the market chops around because there's nobody trading. So if you're looking at going long or going short overnight, whatever method that you're using, whether it's something that I show you or teach you or your own methods, at least make sure it's tradable 4 ticks or more. So that's really the problem with overnight trading. Email me if you have any questions. You can also call 888-607-0008 to take your calls if you have any questions. If you'd like to join, December 18th class still has availability. I will talk to everyone soon, and I'll place this webinar, this video, on my blog as soon as possible.